Hello and welcome to the Higher Expectations podcast. Today we've got myself, Ron Hier, we got Josh Vigil, and we got Michael Hier on. How about that? We got three of us. Been a while about talking about real estate and life. So, as everybody knows, the Fed's going to be, we think, going to be cutting the federal funds rate about 0.25%. Everybody's thinking a quarter, maybe it's a half. There's all kinds of different speculation out there. And then we're going to give you our take on what's going to happen with these interest rate cuts. So, Josh, you got any feedback on where you think they're going to go and why it's going to?
Oh, hold on. No, how you doing? No.
How you doing? How you doing?
No,
I just introduced you.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you introduced us, and then now I guess it's time to talk business. Okay. I don't know.
Let's head right into it.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay.
What'd you have for breakfast this morning, Michael?
Okay, well,
sorry about that.
We're good. We're good.
Are we going to restart it? Or?
No, what are you talking about? We're talking.
All right.
All right.
All right.
We can have Josh's input.
So, yeah. No,
I'm doing good, by the way.
Awesome.
But yeah, going to your question, everything that I've been reading online, lenders that I've been speaking with, what financial economists are saying online, everybody's expecting that we're going to at least receive 0.25% cut this time around. I think maximum, if they decided to be a little bit more aggressive, would be 0.5%. I can't see much more than that, but what are you guys hearing?
They've been so dovish on doing anything for so long. I can't imagine them going more than a quarter.
Exactly.
They could, and saying they won't. But then we got a couple other meetings this year, so maybe they'll do a quarter, or maybe a quarter, wait and see, maybe do nothing. I don't know.
I think that's probably the approach they're going to take. It's probably going to be a quarter, a wait and see how the market reacts to it. Because if they make a big cut, let's say if they did 1%, which I highly doubt that's going to happen.
Yeah. Right.
But if they did something like that, it affects a lot of different things, and then it could cause inflation to go back up, and then we're back to the same point where we started. So
exactly. Yeah, I've read the same thing that Fed Chair Powell announced. It's like, oh, I will be doing 25 basis cut, and I said, oh, but some economists chimed in saying, oh, well, maybe we'll see up to, like you said, 50 basis points or 0.5%.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I mean, and like Ron said, we will be having more meetings before the end of the year.
Yeah.
So it's potential that, like you said, it could be quite a quarter or it could be 25 points here and nothing else. Yeah. So you never know.
Yeah, well, diving into that real quick, I didn't mean to cut you off, but what I'm telling my clients right now, my buyers that are out there, is that make sure that you guys have all of your financial documents in order, ready to go. And if you're looking at properties, go ahead and look at those properties now. And if you're thinking about entertaining property, go ahead and submit it, because at that point in time, when everything's done and said and those rate cuts do take place, you want to be sure that you get your rate locked in sooner than later, just so that you're not waiting, because interest rates fluctuate on a daily basis, right? Yeah. And a lot of these lenders, and we'll add this, but a lot of these lenders already kind of have baked their rates in that they're offering right now to those expected cuts. And I'll let you guys talk a little bit more about that.
One of the main things for the general public, because I watch this, I have an app on my phone. I look at it every day, and it tracks that 10-year Treasury note. So you see the federal funds rate go up and down or do nothing, but that 10-year Treasury note does fluctuate, and that's typically what the mortgage rates follow. And it's not lockstep. It's close. They may be a little bit ahead of it, maybe behind it. But recently, the federal funds rate hasn't changed yet. It's in anticipation of it, that the interest rates have come down, mortgage rates have come down about 0.25% in the last week. And it's like, hey, how come that happened? And it's like, well, typically they wait until after the Fed says that they actually cut the rate. This time, it didn't happen that way. And I believe it's because they were overpriced to begin with. All right, so a lot of times that spread of the federal funds rate and the mortgage rate and the 10-year Treasury note and all that stuff is about 2%, right? The 10-year Treasury note.
Yep.
So at 4%, typically that interest rate should be about 6.
Yeah.
And it's been 6.5%, 7% or something like that. So now they've lowered the rate in anticipation of the federal funds rate coming down. But the interest rates have, in the last week, I said, have already been reduced.
Yeah.
You see that across the board.
Yeah.
But watching that 10-year Treasury note is key.
Yeah.
And like Josh said, if you're out there looking for a home and you're thinking about it, it's ideal to get all your ducks in a row beforehand. So connect with a lender. Give us a call. We'll connect you with a lender. We've got really, really good, sharp people that are financially sound, and their experience and knowledge is just huge.
Yeah.
And they like helping people.
Yeah, you got to stay ready. You got to stay ready.
Yes, for
So
sure.
you don't have to get ready, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's insane. So
And if you're not ready right now, get in contact with them anyway, because they'll tell you what you need to get ready. Whether it's bank statements, W-2s, tax returns, all kinds of other things that you might take a little bit of time to go round up for some people that you might not have readily accessible. Say, hey, I found a home I want to make an offer on right now. I said, well, you need a pre-approval letter, and to make your offer strong. Because as when everybody has access to lower interest rates, there's going to be more buyers in the market, and there's going to be more competition. So you really will have all your paperwork ready to go when you go shopping, you go looking. Yeah, for sure.
Quick question, I guess. Not sure if you have an answer on or not,
We'll
but
see.
right, we'll see. With that app you use for those daily rates, I have the same one. I was looking at it, and maybe you do or don't know. Why is it that the conventional rates are a little bit higher than FHA VA?
I mean, I don't know the exact reason why they are, but they're always higher. And the only thing that would make it more, I would say, kind of affordable, reasonable to do a conventional versus an FHA, if you're not a first-time buyer, is that if you're putting 20% down, okay, and you go conventional, you're not going to have mortgage insurance premium. When FHA, you're always going to have it
for the life of the loan, unless you refinance out.
You can refinance into a conventional loan.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it used to be you would be, and maybe they still do this, but you've got to be in the house in that loan a long time before they would take away that mortgage insurance premium. If that's the case, that's the way it used to be. I don't know what it is right today.
Yeah, I have a client of mine that's actually looking to actually get a refi. And they were offered 5.75 on a refi with where they're at currently, and that's conventional. So that's pretty good because we have not been hearing a lot of rates in the fives lately, and now we're starting to see that, which is great.
Yeah, Michael and I saw one in that 15-year. No, not the 15-year, the ARM. Right?
Yeah, it was a 7.6 SOFR ARM, which is like for the first 7 years of the mortgage, it's locked in at, it's like a 5.6, I believe it was.
Just under 5.6. So
and then it's an ARM, an adjustable rate mortgage for every 6 months after that initial 7-year period. The rate will adjust based on current rates.
Yeah, let's actually bring that up. That's a good.
Yeah, this is the first time in a long time that I've seen ARMs be competitive with 30-year fixed.
Yeah, so let's talk about not necessarily the ARM part of it, but let's talk about the 2-1 buy down.
Sure.
Where people may not know what their options are with that. So there are a lot of people out there that speculate that rates have come down into the 5s, and they expect that they're going to get even lower, possibly get into the 4s at some point, right? So,
That'd be nice.
So the whole point of a 2-1 buy down essentially is that you're buying the rate down for the first year, right? And then the rate's going to be at its lowest, whatever that rate is. Let's say, I'm just making something up here. Let's say the first rate is like 4.5, right? Then the next year it adjusts, it's at 5, right? And then the following year it's going to be at 6. So a lot of times, so the first year you're getting a whole lot of savings on your monthly mortgage payment. Then the second year your payment goes up a little bit more. You have some additional savings, and then the next year it adjusts to the full rate where they qualified you at, let's say at that 6% rate. But the reason why people have found that option to be appealing to them is because they're basically betting against the market, that by the time the third year goes to kick in, that rates are going to be better where they're at. They can look to refinance out.
Especially if they can get the seller to pay for it.
Exactly. Yeah.
You don't have to come out with your own money. That's even better.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. And they do it's not necessarily a 2-1 buy down. It's like a straight buy down.
Yeah.
Right? So you buy down the rate right up front, and it's 30-year fixed at a lower rate right now. It does cost some money, and then that fluctuates as well.
Yeah.
Those are good too.
Yep.
And then still, if the rates ever get below that part and it makes sense to refi, then refi.
Yeah, and if you're looking at a rate buy down or you're looking at a refinance, make sure that you always ask your lender what the time frame in that home is going to be for you to recoup the cost of having that done. So For a refi, let's say a refi costs like 10 grand, 10 grand to do, and you do the refi, but it's saving you, I'm making up something, $250, $300 a month. It may take you 2.5 years living in that property until you actually recoup the cost of actually pay for that refi. So same thing with the rate buy down. Whatever you're putting money into a rate buy down, if the seller's not contributing to that, just make sure that you're going to be living in the home long enough to where you can see the benefit of doing it up front. Because if you don't plan on living in the property that long, then it may not make sense for you to obviously do that.
For sure. And there's not the what do they call it? There's the time frame for the first 6 months. You can't refi. So even if the rates went down in the first couple of months after you just got a brand new loan, you have to wait 6 months to do the refi for the qualifications on the paperwork. The lenders want to make a little bit of money.
Yeah, exactly.
Collecting interest payments basically on the first 6 months. So that's a
well from
important too.
shifting from that. I know what I've been seeing in the market, but I'm curious what you guys have been seeing with the market with people that are looking to sell their home right now, currently, how here in the Antelope Valley, Santa Clarita Valley, also San Fernando Valley areas. What are you guys seeing a lot of right now for sellers that are selling their homes?
It's the sellers selling their home or buyers, a combination? What are we seeing as far as getting offers accepted?
Yeah, so I'll go first then.
Yeah.
So the way that I'm
answer your question.
well, I want to see from your perspective too.
I'll give it to you.
Here's a question. Here's my answer.
Yeah, here's an easy question. Well, what are you asking? No, the sellers, I'm seeing a lot of price reductions going on right now. I'm seeing a lot of homes that have a lot of days on market. Days on market is when it actually hits the MLS for sale. There's a lot of homes that are sitting on the market for a longer period of time. They are eventually moving, but I'm seeing a lot more price reductions. I'm seeing a lot more seller concessions towards the buyers to pay for their closing costs or to pay down their rates. That's what I'm seeing right now in the market, that it's softened. But if these interest rates start and then they start to continue, then we can start to see some of those things kind of trickle back a little bit, in my opinion. But I'm curious what you guys are seeing on your end as well.
Yeah, so I just opened escrow this morning on one that was kind of unique.
Awesome.
I know, for sure. So we'll say the sales price was $700,000. We wrote an offer and asked the seller to pay $20,000 in closing costs. They came back at 10. We came back at 15. And then the seller waited. Well, the time we gave them a counteroffer like on a Wednesday. And then we gave them until Friday to give us an answer because we didn't really want that house to stay on the market for the weekend. Yeah. And technically it had expired. And it's like, oh, maybe they didn't see it or maybe they didn't care. And they just let it go through the weekend. And then they signed our counteroffer with the $15,000 credit. So it's like, I know what they wanted to do. They wanted to get that house another weekend and more time. And yes, the interest rates come down and they didn't get any more offers. And they said, hey, we were out of town. Sorry, we didn't do this, didn't do that. It's like, yeah, right. So, but on the counteroffer, it does expire after a certain amount of time. The default language in the purchase agreement and the counters, it's like 3 days. 3 days. Okay? Yep. We shortened that up a little bit. They gave them like a day and a half and midnight or something like that. So, if the sellers don't sign or the buyer doesn't sign within that time frame, and then they sign it later, it's fine as long as the other party signs what they call a late acceptance. So this didn't used to be in the paperwork years ago.
Just
they have this
changed.
now. We used to go like this. So, 3 days after it expired, then they sign it, and then they open escrow, and it's like they could have some. I don't know, not litigation, but I've talked to California Association of Realtors attorneys. They said, as long as everybody was going along as if everybody agreed, signing paperwork, doing the stuff, they said, you're probably fine. And then I never had any issues with it, but they tightened that up, putting in there that late acceptance signature, and I think that's great.
Yeah, I tend to just push out the expiration in my counter terms. So every offer I get for my clients, we always counter back to tighten up things, dot the I's, cross the T's. So for me, it's if we are past that expiration time frame, I always tell my clients don't worry about it because then I add a term in there that pushes that expiration out to a future date. So that when they sign off on it, then they're agreeing that they're good with the original terms. At that point.
And every offer is different. Every situation is different. Sometimes you want to, sometimes you don't want to. You want to I want a signature today at 11 o'clock.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, oh, and if your offer is really, really strong, the seller's probably going to take it because the longer a property stays on the market, more opportunities that other offers could come in. So anyway, that every like I said, every transaction is a little bit different.
Yeah. And, across the CRMLS, and, looking at some of those statistics.
CRMLS stands for?
California Regional MLS Multiple Listing
Yeah,
Service.
that thing's huge.
It is. It goes top to
California.
bottom. Yeah, top to bottom of California, I think.
all the way to San Diego.
Yeah, past, right?
Yeah, that's a good
so
one.
on there, they have some statistics running on there, and I believe over the past couple of months, we have seen an increase in days on market about 12 to 15 days. So like you said, Josh, homes are staying on there longer, which means sellers that do want to get out of their homes, that do want to sell, they're going to offer those buyers concessions, whether it is the rate buy down, a 2-1 buy down, or pay for the closing costs, anything like that. Because and if the home is overpriced at all, or if it's not in proper showing condition, it's going to sit even longer.
Yeah. And I always tell my clients too that are looking to purchase a property, sometimes people look at it and they don't realize like how their monthly payments affected from the overall purchase price versus the actual interest rate.
Oh, yeah.
So sometimes you work with buyers and they say, well, you think we can get the home for $20,000 cheaper, right? And I say, yeah, I'm sure we can write it that way and see if they would consider it. But I think it would be a lot more affordable for you if you were to get them to pay towards buying down your rate opposed to getting the purchase price down on that. So long-term interest rates are going to save them a lot more money with buying it down.
Yeah, the day-to-day monthly payment makes a big difference, but so does having equity in your home.
Exactly.
So if you're going to stay there for a long time, you're going to weigh that out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Michael's working on one too. His buddy's working on a house over in
Loma Linda.
Loma Linda.
Yeah. So and on that, it is a VA loan to be fair, but speaking of rates, he's got an excellent rate, like a 5.6, which
30-year fixed.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes. So, looking at rates over the past 2 years, that's incredible.
It's amazing.
That's I think it might be the lowest I've seen in that time frame.
Yeah.
I don't know, pretty close either way, but it's he's getting a good deal if that's going to be his rate, and if it does get lower, over the next couple of years, refi. But
exactly.
Otherwise, it's a great time to buy right now at that, especially at that rate.
Yeah, and that brings up a good point. So you're helping him purchase where? Loma Linda?
Loma Linda, yes.
Loma Linda. So that goes to tell everybody out there, we don't just service the Antelope Valley. We service Santa Cruz Valley, San Fernando Valley. We've even done Cal City, Mojave, all different areas. Rancho Cucamonga areas where we've serviced.
I never say that. I say California. I don't say Antelope Valley. I say everywhere.
I service all California.
Yeah, exactly. I've gone so far as Ramona, which is a little community outside of San Diego.
Yeah.
And then
that was good.
how far north have you guys gone?
You've sold a home in San Diego and.
Yeah, and then how far north? To Tehachapi, and I'm working with a friend of mine that's it's in Palo Alto. So we'll see how that, and I'm going to help him.
Yeah.
So the reason why I bring that part up, that we service everywhere, I think that when people think that where our main office is out here in the Antelope Valley area, they tend to think that our specialty is out here in the Antelope Valley. No, it's everywhere. We study all the statistical. We study all the statistical data throughout California. What cities are doing better than others, what cities are holding the prices more, things like that. So not every city, you can't compare every city apple to apple, because some cities, their days on market are not as high, right? And those homes go off the market a lot quicker because there's not a whole lot of inventory there. But other cities, it typically starts from more north, and as you go south, the prices tend to get higher at that point. From here, they get
Unless
higher.
you go way north.
Yeah, they get higher, but the inventory tends to be a little bit more higher over here, and then it starts to decrease as you go more south. So something to kind of take into consideration if you guys are thinking about purchasing out of the area. We're here to help.
For sure. And then we've got an extensive network outside of California. That I've helped people, Washington, Tennessee, Texas, of course, Arizona, Nevada, and all across the United States. So I've helped people. We connect with another realtor in another city, and we vet them out. And then if it works out, we don't have to use them, but we've already vetted them out. And they're similar to us. They have good work ethics. They've been in the business for a long time. They take care of their clients. So if you're thinking about moving outside the area, give us a call. We'll connect you with a really, really, really good one.
Yeah, and that's a great point, what he was saying. So when we vet them out, what we do typically is we'll interview 3 or 4 different agents in that city that they're moving to in that state. and we talk with them because for the most part, we've worked with you or you're our friends. We know your personality types. We know what makes a good agent. So when we're interviewing those other agents, we're making sure that they operate essentially kind of like us, right? And what I always tell them,
then we stay in the loop.
exactly. Yeah, I always tell them, even though I'm not involved in the day-to-day on the contractual things, I want to be involved in all the emails and stuff like that so that I make sure that everything's going through perfectly.
Absolutely.
Very good.
You know, I'll compare it to having a doctor in network. You know, we have tons of realtors in network all across the country.
Yeah.
Even some in Canada, actually.
Yeah.
So if that's, you know, something you guys have thought about, you know, we got
Exactly.
connections there too.
Yeah.
I'm sure we could find them outside the United States.
Yeah. So another common thing I think it's a good time to bring this up is that a lot of people don't know what we do as realtors, right? I think the common misconception is that we just put up a real estate sign, we sell a home, we cash a big check, and then we move on to the next, right?
I hope you're enjoying the podcast. If you're thinking about buying or selling real estate, or if you know of somebody thinking about buying or selling real estate, we would love to help them. Feel free to give us a call, text, or message us here. And now, back to the show.
A lot of people tend to think that all we do is we put up a sign, we sell a home, cash a big check, people drive nice cars, things like that. And there are some agents that kind of flaunt those things and stuff like that. But
portray it.
Yeah, portray that. But that's far from the truth in everything that we deal with. And I kind of like, from Michael's perspective and your perspective, I want you guys to kind of tell them just a general idea of what we do, all the hundreds of things we do in a transaction.
I mean, it's different sets of things we do for buyers and sellers. On seller side, it starts way before the house ever goes on the market. So we help them prepare the home to make it show off in its best light. Whether sometimes it needs painting and flooring, sometimes it doesn't in landscaping because curb appeal is about 50% of the sale of the home. Fix broken things, help them stage the home, and get the home ready for photos. And then we set up the photos, and then we do the photos, and then editing the photos takes a day and a half or so to edit the photos.
On photos, before you keep going, because there's a laundry list, and I don't want to lose it, is that I cannot stand when agents take iPhone photos, but not even good iPhone photos.
And they're in the mirror.
Yeah, they're in the mirror. I've seen them waving at the mirror. Yeah.
Oh, here's a pile of clothes in the floor in the closet. It's
yeah, I'm like, they're taking a photo of the coffee maker in the house. I mean, that's personal property. What are you doing? And the camera's crooked. I'm like, dude, okay, I get it. If you know you don't have a ton of money and you don't want to front the money for the photos, that's fine. Just take your time. It's not hard to take a straight photo of a room that highlights the house.
See, that's Michael says it's fine, but for me, I'm not fine.
Well,
with
no,
that.
of course, but I'm talking.
Not the same.
But what I'm saying is, like, if you're a brand new agent and you have no money, you know, then I understand. But
call us
when I see agents, right. When I see agents who have been, you know, their license numbers, you know, old, and I'm like, oh, they should be experienced. They've been in the industry for a long time. I give them no leeway. You know, there's no reason for any of that.
Yeah, in my opinion, I think there's no excuses whatsoever when it comes to that stuff. I think if somebody's willing to give you the business to help them sell their home, you need to do everything in your power to make sure that you're highlighting that home in the best light and getting their home sold. I don't care if you're a new agent. I don't care if you're an older agent and you don't know how to work technology. You hire somebody, you spend money. Regardless if you're a new agent or not, that's why they have credit cards, right? If you need to put some money on a credit card to get yourself going, you do it. Because to me,
it's a disservice to the seller.
It's a big disservice. And the sad thing about it is there's a lot of sellers out there that don't know what they're hiring. They think they're hiring somebody that's going to be able to sell their home, but they don't realize what they get from it, that they're not getting the package. They're not getting their home highlighted in the best light. And I know some of those agents that highlights those homes in the condition that they're in. Sometimes they don't care about the condition the home's in. They just shoot it the way it is.
And here's the crazy thing. The home will sell, but not for as much as it could have if it was done properly.
So
that's what's crazy.
So how much money did they leave on the table? You don't know, right? And and sellers don't know that. But I think that's my biggest gripe, because it's like I take it so personal, and I know you guys too, when we list our client's property. When we go on a listing appointment, we walk around the whole home, like Ron was saying, and we call out all the things that are going to show in the best light, or things that need to get removed, or corrected, or fixed, so that the home shows in the best light.
And sometimes they can't do that, and that's okay. Not okay.
But there are ways around that with working with us. So if that's something that you're considering, and you don't have the financial funds to be able to make some of those corrections, talk to us. We'll work it out. We'll figure it out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we have.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, for sure.
Multiple times.
Yeah.
Yeah, one thing that we like to say is that paint is worth, $30 in a can, like 10 grand on the walls.
No kidding.
I mean, it's so true.
I think you only say that.
Hey, I think
that's
I
good
say
stuff.
that, and I'll stand by it.
No, but that is great. That is true.
Somebody said, well, I can give them an allowance, right? Yes, you can, but they're not going to be the same.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
You can spend like from flooring, I don't know, make a number up, say $5,000 on flooring. And so we can give them an allowance of $5,000. I said, yeah, but they're thinking it's going to cost them 15, 20, or 30,000 when it would only cost you $5,000 to get it done.
Yeah.
It is a minor hassle because I think spending $5,000 to get 25 back.
That's a good return.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And it definitely shows in the photos.
Yeah.
When our photographer comes in and we got fresh paint, fresh flooring, and everything else is cleaned up. I said, hey, what do people want? They want a house that they can just move into and get on with their life. And most of them don't have the money to go ahead and fix things and while they're there or before they move in. So having it dialed in is ideal. It's not the only way to do it.
Yeah.
It just and we let everybody know all these options, right? So we sit down and talk with our clients. What's your goal? How you want to get there? This is what we can help you, whatever it is. And that's one of the main things we do is we listen more than I think anybody else out there about what our clients are looking for. And what their goals are.
Well, yeah, because if we're in it for ourselves, we're never going to prosper in our business. We're never going to have business because you're looking out for yourself. You always look out for your client, regardless of what the outcome is for you. I don't care. It's not about that transaction that you're working on at that point. It's about making that client happy and getting it done. And then in the future, they're happy with your services that they refer you to their family and friends. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
So, we've had to even, in some scenarios, it's not something that we prefer to do, but there's some scenarios where we've had to even cut our commission or contribute a part of our commission to helping getting the deal done on their end. That's not something that we like to do, but that just goes to show you kind of the lengths that we go to as agents with higher advantage to kind of get the deal done. So.
Yeah, because every transaction is a little bit different. You'll find sometimes you get a little snag in there, and it's like, well, no, start all over. No, don't start over. Work on it, get it close.
Yeah.
Like the sellers hired you to sell their house. Just get it close. We're not trying to skate this thing out for another, I don't know, until everybody gets tired of it.
Yeah.
More things on the laundry list that agents do. I always think it's funny when people are like on Instagram or TikTok and I see said, this is what agents do. Like walk in the house. Here's the kitchen.
Yeah.
Walk in the house. Here's the bedroom.
That's annoying.
They know that. There's a bed in the room and a closet. I think they know it's a bedroom, or like, oh, the sink and the fridge. I think it's the kitchen, right?
Yeah.
But that is such a small part of what we do. I mean, that is maybe the smallest part.
Yeah.
So,
but some agents make that the biggest part.
They do. I mean, but a large part is our negotiating, contract handling. Contract handling is something that gets overlooked, I think, way too often by agents.
And communication, because
Yes.
now the purchase agreement is 16 pages long plus addendums. You can't expect anybody to go in there and read all that. And even if they could, they do read it. And it's like, I don't understand it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's huge. And then communicating with our clients, buyers and sellers, about what this means, what the ramifications are of answering it one way or the other is huge. And I think, and there's no doubt, communication solves almost every problem out there.
Yep. And the main thing is, going back to the contract, what Mike was talking about is protecting our clients, right? So like I said, every offer I receive with my clients, we go over it. We have counter terms that we come back to tighten things up so that things are favorable. There's no loopholes for my sellers, right? Obviously, we're not putting counter terms that are going to detract the buyer away, but more so to protect your client, right? And that's kind of where it goes back now to home builders. When you go the home builder route, right? And you walk in as a new buyer, you plan on using an agent, but you have not talked to your agent yet. You walk into a new home builder. That builder is hired by, that builder hires those agents that are in those sales offices. So when you walk in, now you become their client, and you cannot use your agent, go back and say, okay, now I want to use my agent. No, you registered as their client now. And the thing is that you have to wonder, who are they looking out for? They're going to be looking out for the builder because the builder hired them to sell those homes. And if you don't know as a buyer the right questions to ask the builder's agent, to get answers on, then there's probably some things that they're not necessarily looking
I'm
into.
not saying they're unscrupulous.
Yeah.
Okay, they're good people. I've
Yeah.
met a lot of them, and they're
Yeah.
good people. But they're not going to treat you the same
Yeah.
as if there were separate representation. That's what I
100%.
found out.
Yep.
Yeah.
They have vested interest. I mean, inherently. Like,
I mean, the builder's paying them.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
And they do a good job. There's a bunch
Yeah.
there's a good realtors out there.
Yeah.
But, who ultimately is paying their check.
Exactly.
And like I said, there are a bunch of good
Yes,
agents out
absolutely.
there representing the builders, and they're very friendly. But I don't think that's the same as having separate representation, especially on all transactions.
Well, and the cherry on top about that is if you have your own representation, 99% of the time the builder is paying that agent's commission. So we are a free resource for you guys when you guys are walking into a new build community. Bring your agent with you
Yeah, it
at
doesn't
that
cost
point.
you
It
anything.
doesn't cost you anything.
No.
Yeah, you're not paying anything out of pocket. It doesn't affect your loan in any way.
Yeah.
All it does is protect you, and you have the agent that has the history and the knowledge of
there's-
the questions asked.
And that's a good point, because almost all these big builders have their own lenders, okay? And they say,
In-house.
hey, you get a $3,500 discount if you use our lender. They say, that sounds great. But if you don't have anything to compare it to,
Yeah.
it may not be.
Yeah.
That $3,500 might cost you $10,000.
Yeah. And your closing costs specifically.
Yeah.
So when you compare lender to lender, not all lenders have the same closing cost amount that they're charging you. But sometimes you may be like, oh, we're going to throw an incentive for you. And it looks like it's an incentive going through these new build communities, but you're paying for it in your closing costs. So that's another thing to kind of consider that you may not be aware of unless you're working with an agent.
So it's good to have separate representation.
Yeah, and then also on the new build is that they have their own contracts. So
Yeah.
it's not on the residential purchase agreement that
Not the car form.
not the car forms. yeah.
California Association of Realtors.
They have contracts that are specific to their builder, and those contracts are always going to be in favor of the builder. So we have to go through those contracts, look at their timeframes, their contingency timeframes, their deposits, when you could not get that deposit back, when it becomes non-refundable, when we can do our inspections, our walkthroughs, when you can request things to be fixed. There's a whole laundry list of things when it comes to that part. So
And I'm sure those agents do go over that stuff. It's just that their contract is different than the California Association of Realtors contract.
Yep.
And those are, let's say, designed for both buyers and sellers.
Yeah.
Okay, all this stuff has been vetted out through the courts. Builders, home builders, they have their own contract, and they're all a little bit different depending on which builder it is.
Yep.
And for the most part, they favor the builder. Not that they're trying to, screw over the buyer or nothing like
They're
that.
not,
It's
no.
but they want things done their way, and they're not always favorable to the buyer. And sometimes it's okay as long as you understand them. It's okay. It's like, hey, this is the way it's going to be. Okay, thank you for telling me.
yeah, exactly. Yep.
Yeah. I think we could probably take, I don't know, infinite episodes to go through the different car forms, California Association of Realtors forms, because
Those are good.
and in addition to that,
Why we have them?
exactly, and in addition to that, they change every 6 months to a year.
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
not,
it's insane.
not all of them change.
No.
They're revisions
Yes.
every 6 months.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Stay on top of that stuff. That's what's going on out there. There's new things happening all the time.
Yeah. And then on the laundry list of things that we also do in a real estate transaction
just started.
is we also have to keep track of all the forms that are needed in that real estate transaction. So one thing that we do, and we pay for this out of our own pocket, is we have our transaction coordinators. So a lot of times we're out on the field, we're showing properties, or we're negotiating contracts, things like that. We have our own assistants that we hire out of our pocket up front. We don't
Part of our team.
Yeah, part of our team. They are part of our team. We worked with them for many years.
Yeah.
But we pay for that out of our pocket. We don't pass that cost on to our clients. But there are a lot of agents out there that do pass that cost on
I've
to
seen
their
it
clients.
a lot.
And the way that I see that is, why would you pass a cost on to your client, and that's the cost of you doing business? So like, that's how I see it. That's the cost of me doing business. This make my job a little easier, just to make sure that the papers are organized, and that when I need a form signed, I put the form together. I say, can you please send this out? And I know it's getting taken care of because we have the best transaction coordinators on our team.
Absolutely.
But there's a lot of agents out there that will pass that fee along to keep their file in order to the seller or to the buyer. And in my opinion, I just don't think that's something that it's right. But people do it.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, having a transaction coordinator that's really in tune with dotting the I's and crossing the T's, making sure that the forms are in alliance with those contingency removal timeframes, because those are very important.
Yeah. Yep.
And then that's what they do.
Yep.
Those are really good. Good point.
Yeah. What else do we do, Mike? He's like, I think you covered it
You know
all.
what? Following up with escrow. So there's so
I
many
don't know.
different pieces of this, right? So there's following up with escrow, following up with the title report, doing the back end, the statement of information, helping the buyers fill out this information, because some of it can be really intense.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have to bring other fields in. So we have CPAs, we've got financial planners, we've got attorneys, escrow officers to help look at different pieces. Every transaction is different, especially if there's a trust involved. You know what? Maybe whomever has the trust needs to go get something updated or power of attorney or something like that on a document. So all of these little intricate parts.
Or they need a retro appraisal.
The-
There's a lot.
all of these intricate parts
Yeah.
are on the back end that nobody sees, which is fine. Okay, we love doing it. We
Yeah.
like helping people,
Yeah.
and it's like we just can't tell you, I'm doing this today. I'm doing this. It's like it would take too much time to get all that stuff done. But it is very having a list of that thing would be impressive. I'd say if you put all that together.
One thing that we do take care of, and before I say, my brain's split because I'm also handling the switchboard,
Yeah,
man. I'm
awesome.
like,
I swear, Michael knows what he's doing.
I know.
You're
I'm
like deer in headlights. What?
you can see this in the camera. I'm over here clicking, and I'm like, well, one of the things
Two
that
parts of the brain.
exactly, yeah, the left and the right.
Good. Thank God for your neurosurgeon degree.
Exactly, right?
Your neurology degree.
Right.
Not a surgeon, but
Yeah, neuroscience. So,
Good.
an important thing is that there are 3 separate opportunities during every transaction to negotiate. And that's going to be before the home goes into escrow, the negotiating the purchase agreement. The second's going to be when you get the home inspection done. If anything comes up, that's a second point. Third's going to be the appraisal. I mean, these are all opportunities for negotiations. Not saying that they will always be negotiated. Sometimes, it's super simple. Buyer seller agree on everything on the RPA, perfect. And then
RPA
the home
is a residential purchase agreement.
exactly. Thank you for that for the
welcome.
layperson.
Sure.
One of the many forms that we can talk about.
yeah.
Lots of acronyms.
Yeah. So potentially the buyer and seller agree on everything. RPA gets signed. Escrow opens. There's no request for repairs. The appraisal's perfect. Everything's smooth, and then it just closes.
Yep.
But how often does that happen, guys?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, there's always something. And,
Yeah.
and that's the thing. That's where what Ron touched on earlier. Communication is key in this field. And as long as you're communicating with your clients and you're explaining what comes up, because there are certain things that are out of our control that we cannot control, right, that may come up. And as long as you convey those things and you explain why it occurred and how we're going to fix it, we don't go to our clients with just a problem without a workaround, right? Because
And we're laughing because that'd be crazy. We would
because-
get backlash
because-
for that.
because we get agents on the other side that go, "Hey, we got a problem." It's like, well,
what are you
okay,
going to do about
I'll
it?
fix it.
yeah, right.
Yeah, I know. It's so funny how many times we've had to fix other problems on their end. But yeah, so we come, like when we encounter a problem that comes up in a real estate transaction, let's say it's a low appraisal or whatever the case may be, we do our vetting, we figure out a workaround, and then we discuss it with our clients and say, hey, this is what came up, but this is how we handle it. And this is what we do. This is why we do it this way. Are you on board with that?
And here's give them the options.
Yeah, and give them the options. And at that point, they decide. They make the decisions. They are the bosses in the transaction. But
It's their home if they're the seller.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So after all that, and then everything closes, prior to it closing, we do a final walkthrough 5 days prior to the close of escrow. So if we've negotiated repairs on behalf of our buyers, we go back to verify that those repairs have been completed in satisfactory condition and that the property is being turned over in satisfactory condition. No trash, personal belongings left behind. The home's broom swept, and that the countertops are clean for them. Obviously, you might want to do your own cleaning in a home when you purchase it, but that's how we like to turn it over. Clean, no junk and stuff like that turned over. And then my favorite part of the real estate transaction, and I want to know what your guys' favorite part is, but my favorite part when people ask me, what do you like most about real estate? I love more than anything handing keys over to buyers that are purchasing a home for the first time. Just watching them get that key when I hand it over and watching them turn that lock for the first time, opening up the home as their home now, that to me is such a special moment. And I always find joy in that because I just see how happy a family is going into a property and how excited those kids are to pick out their rooms and what they plan on doing, what appliances they're going to order, things like that, when they're going to have their house, their housewarming party, all those things. So I love that part because it shows that they set a goal and then they accomplish the goal. And there's nothing sweeter than that, setting a goal and being able to accomplish it. So that's my favorite part in a transaction. What about you guys?
Yeah, so same thing with the buyer. On the seller side, it depends. My favorite thing is just getting it closed because it is so stressful on the sellers. So they're moving, and recently it's been a lot of people moving out of the state. You're not just moving down the street. So they're in transit. They're doing different things, and having that communication, they just love being in the loop. And then when it finally closes, to get the call that says, "Hey, we have confirmation of recording." And
your wire is getting sent over today. Your money's going to hit your account today.
Yeah, so that's really, I want to make sure that's really the biggest thing. I want to make sure I let them know. Say, hey, we've got confirmation of recording. It takes about 24 hours to get that wire. I'm going to call you tomorrow, make sure it hits your account, and make sure that everything went smoothly. And then that's really getting them their house sold, and then their funds in their account. It's like, whew, that's my goal.
Let's go party. Let's go celebrate.
I want them to get paid.
What about you, Michael?
Yeah, I think we all agree then that's closing is the best way. It's the buyer or the seller. The seller gets their funds, and maybe if they need to buy their next home, they can start that process, which is a big relief for them. Or the buyers, all the negotiations are done. They get to move in. I agree with that, specifically with you, Josh, but to give a unique answer, helping a buyer before they put offers in, tour a couple homes and they say, this is the one. When they figure out that this specific home is for them for XYZ reason, that's fun. It just feels great that they found.
What puts the pressure on you?
Get the offer accepted.
Oh man, now I got to get my offer accepted.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And we're really good at that.
Exactly. It's both, right? It's like, oh, this is awesome, to see that like light in their eyes, and then that light turns into okay, now you do your job. And I'm like, I'll do my job. Don't worry about me.
And in addition to that, I always think too is getting the reviews from your clients after.
Oh, that's
so
sweet.
Getting those reviews from your clients after, that means the world to me. In a transaction, because it gives a glimpse to other people that plan on using you in the future, a seller.
Well, we work so hard at getting it all done, and then when we know that they've appreciated it, getting us the thank you card, the thank you post, or whatever. It's like, yes, I thank you so much for doing that. I appreciate you letting everybody else know that you're happy with our services.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's more of the words that mean more. I think it's the just reaffirming that you did a great job in that transaction for them, because sometimes that stuff gets clouded by little bumps in the road that are not due to us, and people see the transaction as a whole, like, oh, the whole transaction was bumpy, and I didn't have a good time. But it may not have been because of us. It may have been because the other side created an issue, and we
keep repaving the road and get the bumps out.
Exactly. But when people are able to kind of separate that and say, like, I know that had nothing to do with you guys. I'm happy with you guys. This is great. I wish the sellers or the buyers could have been a little bit more on their A game on their side, but it's done. And it's over with, and we can move on and stuff like that. So that's always exciting too. But also the people that are moving out of state. When they move out of state, it's always bittersweet, because it's like the people that we're working with, we develop a relationship with them, whether it's we had a relationship prior to.
Or still do.
Exactly. But when they move, I love seeing their posts online with they're showing their new home out there, showing all the new things that they're doing in the new state that they're in. So those things make me happy too.
Yeah. But getting back to inside the transaction, if there's any like requests for repairs or anything else that's going on inside a transaction, we have a vast resource of all kinds of vendors, whether it's handyman, contractors, electrical, plumbing, air conditioning, roofing. We got the title, the escrow, everybody else. If you need somebody, we've come across some really, really good people. And if you're thinking, man, I wonder if I should get this done, ask us. We'll find somebody. Yeah. The asking part is not going to cost you anything to see if something can get done, or how much it's going to cost to get done. You can weigh it out if you want to get it done or not. And if you've agreed to do some requests for repairs, whatever they are, like I said, we've got some. You don't have to use our guys. Okay, if you've got one, take care of it. But if you don't have them, we got one. I almost guarantee it. We have a list that we give our clients. And if it's not on the list, if something new comes up that's just obscure, we'll find one for that too, because we're here to help.
Yeah. We can even find underwater basket weavers if you need them.
I have a guy that found close to underwater basket weaving. We had a leak in our pool.
Oh, yeah.
And we couldn't figure out where it was coming from. I had the pool guy. This was after we had it replastered. It was still leaking. I thought, we can have it replastered. Something's wrong. It's cracked somewhere. And it was still leaking. It was everybody going, oh, it's probably the skimmer. I said, the basket and the skimmer and the blah, blah, blah. And I had a pool leak detector guy come to my house. He had scuba gear on. He plugged all the holes and tested all these things individually. And what had happened was there was a tiny leak at the bottom of the pool drain, not the drain part of the filter system that he took off and then fixed it. And after he fixed it, no more leak. So
putty.
It's almost like, what's that?
You put putty there.
Yeah, but it was a special putty. It's not like, that kind of putty. You
Silly putty.
Yeah. What's that stuff floating in my pool? I don't know what that is.
Call him again.
No, so that was pretty obscure. I never knew this guy existed, and I found him. That was really cool. And so we'll do that for you too.
Yeah.
And if you need underwater basket weaving, I guess we can find one.
We'll find it.
Yeah. And one last thing that, because there's so many other things we can go into, but a key important thing that I think we bring up is when we get offers for buyers that submit offers on your property that you're selling, we vet those buyers out. We look at their financial documents because they have to send proof of funds over to us. So sometimes they're asking for closing costs, right? And I look at their bank statement. I'm like, they have more than enough to cover their down payment and their closing costs. Then I talk to their lender, and then I find out, is their debt to ratio good? Have they been in their job history for a good period of time? And then I asked them, I said, hey, they asked for closing costs here. Is that a want or a need? Because it's different to me, because then I could present that to my clients that, hey, they need this in order to be able to purchase your home, or this is what they want, right? Because they're two different things, right? And if you're having a lot of activity on your property, and let's say you have like 3 or 4 offers that come in, I always ask the agent and I ask the lender, I say, hey, your clients asked for this. This is what our activity has been on the home. Do your clients need this or do they want it? Because I'm going to go back with that information to my client and whatever they decide to move forward with at that point. And then sometimes they come back and say, I think they want it, but I can confirm, and maybe to make their offer better, if it's going to help them, we can remove it. So that's another thing that we do to kind of help our clients is vet their lenders to make sure that they have good financing, but also that if they're asking for concessions, we're looking at their bank statements, make sure that they have enough money to close the deal.
That's a good point, because I just brought something else to mind on a transaction I'm working on right now. Buyers purchasing a home for my clients. I'm a listing agent. They need to sell their home. So now we've got 2 transactions that need to close. One transaction needs to close before that buyer can purchase our home. And I contact their lender, right? The buyer, not even my client, but I need to know how that transaction's going along to see if our transaction is going to close. And we vet that out before that goes in. It's like, I want to know, hey, we got our house under contract, so now we can move forward with the sale or purchase of this house. I contact that lender. I contact that escrow. How's everything going? What are the ratios? How strong is that buyer? What's the likelihood of that house closing? Because that's imperative about this one closing.
100%.
I don't think everybody does that.
Yeah, no,
It's like a house of cards. If you take out one of the bottom legs, well, the whole thing falls apart. It's the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Got to go deep into that transaction to see what those qualifying buyers, and then it doesn't happen. Every transaction is different.
Yeah, exactly.
And those are fun. That's the fun. It's like, they're nothing's the same. And getting into feeling, I'll say comfortable. I don't have any control over that other one, other than calling and trusting somebody else's information and then getting verification that information is correct.
Yeah, and if that buyer that's selling that home really wants your client's home, they're going to supply you with the documentation from that transaction.
Definitely.
To make sure that you have everything that you need to make the seller comfortable on their end to want to entertain their offer. So
that's just a little bit of stuff that we do
on
the back end that people don't see.
It's a lot of information we threw out there.
But before we wrap up, I would like to just share with everybody on what you got going on recently outside of business, because I don't know. We all got a lot of business going on right now. We could talk about that forever.
We took a little break at the end of summer.
Yeah.
My wife and I went to Mammoth for a couple of days. There was a little bit of smokiness because there were some fires on the backside blowing in or whatever, but the day before we got there, it had rained up there, which was really nice, and it cleared out the air. And then by happenstance, one of our friends were up there, and we had dinner with them. And then we just chilled, kicking around. I found out some new things that I wanted to go do while I was up there. We went to Tom's place. Everybody that's gone up there, driven right by Tom's place. I've driven by it 100 times. I finally went in. I had a burger. It was nice. Had a good atmosphere in there. That was kind of cool. Outside of Bishop, there's this place called Mill Pond Recreation Area. I've seen that more than 100 times. And we went and took a look at that. That was kind of cool. So we did a little bit of sightseeing up there. It was nice. It's good to get away. It's good to get back. So get a little bit of, fresh air and perspective and rest and then go back at it. And I love it.
Yep.
What you got?
I know you went to dinner at the place called Scotty.
S-K-A-D-I. And I was thinking, we went to Scotty's. I'm thinking S-C-O-T-T-I-E-S. So I never
That's what I
seen
thought.
that up there. I don't know where that is.
Yeah.
That's because it's not there.
Yeah.
S-K-A-D-I. Oh, that's an excellent restaurant.
And a fun fact is Scotty is the Norse goddess of the hunt. She has a wolf that hunts with her.
Oh, well,
Isn't that neat?
I don't know what they were hunting. I don't know if they were hunting up there, but the food was excellent.
There you go. I don't know,
Yeah.
Josh, you
Oh, yeah.
doing any
Oh,
cooking
man.
recently? Because
Oh,
I know,
jeez, man.
last brisket you made was delicious. I love that thing.
Thank
man.
you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah.
That was nice.
That's my, I feel like part of like my love language as a person is that people I care about, I invite them over to my house, want to feed them and enjoy time with them. So last time our families got together, we smoked a brisket and it came out good.
How long did you cook that for?
26 hours. Yeah, but I'm a little bit of a perfectionist and I'm kind of upset with myself because I do think I left a little bit too much. I should have trimmed the fat down a little bit more on it. It was a little bit more fattier on top than it has been in the
Yeah,
past.
but it adds to the flavor, man.
I
It's
loved
so
it.
good.
I ate a piece of just that fat. I said, my mom said, don't do that. I said, it's fine. I don't do it that often.
But aside from that, I've had a lot on my plate. I'm coaching my son's soccer team. So I've been coaching him every year that I can. The first year I was an assistant coach. Since then, I've head coached every single team he's been on. And then in line with that, I train jiu-jitsu. My son trains jiu-jitsu. When I'm there at my son's classes, I'll jump in and kind of help coach as well.
Just to beat up the kids.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, keep them doing what they're supposed to be doing. But recently we just had a repipe done on our home, which that wasn't that wasn't fun. I had 2 leaks in the past 6 months occur in my garage, and there's a PEX, and I'm gonna have a video come out on this, so you guys look out for it. But there's a PEX that's called Kitech PEX pipe. And it was created by this company, and it was really popular from 1995 to 2017. 2007, 1995 to 2007. The reason why it was so popular was it was a cheaper alternative to having your home done with copper. And the pipe was flexible. So it had a thin layer of metal in between the plastic PEX that allowed it to bend. And just to sum it up, it's a crappy material. So if you have it in your home, just kind of be aware. It's not meant to scare you. It's just meant to educate you.
You put that in your home?
No, that was in my home when I bought it. No, I don't put stuff like that in my home. But yeah, so 2 different plumbers came out. They advised like, hey, you probably want to get this corrected. After the second leak occurred in my garage, thankfully both leaks were in my garage and not in my home. That could have been a lot more costly. But I decided to do a repipe. I was super impressed by the company that did it. I will give them a plug here because I really do like them. And the reason why I'm giving them a plug is because any of you guys that are thinking about having a repipe done, reach out to us because they will do something to help you guys with the cost of your repipe in your home by us referring you over directly to them. We have no affiliation with them. We don't get anything from it, but just want to help you guys out if you guys have to go through that experience.
Or give us a call.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But their name is Repipe Specialist, and that's all they do. So their headquarters is here in California. They come in one day, they open the walls, remove all the old pipe, whatever pipe it is that you're having replaced at that point. And then the next day, the city comes out, inspects it, makes sure that the work is done. The next day after that, they have patchers in your home, patching all those holes. And then after that, the city comes again and views it and makes sure that it was completed to workman-like manner. That's what it says in the code. And then from there, then you have to more than likely get your home repainted. So that's kind of what's been on my plate lately.
It's a little bit.
So what kind of material did you repipe?
It's called Aquapex. It's it's Aquapex. It's a lifetime warranty on all their fittings. So essentially what it is is they're fittings that connect to the pipe. There's a tool that expands the end of the pipe, and it's like a 3-pronged tool, and it opens up the pipe. They put the fitting in, and when they release it, then it falls on and it clamps onto the pipe. It's lifetime warranty. So if you ever have a leak at any of those fittings or anything like that, then they will repair all damage that occurs, which I really liked.
That's nice.
And then I think they have like a warranty. It's like 50 to 70 years. The guy was saying that's how good the material is that they installed. So, yeah.
Very
Nice.
good.
What about you?
What about Michael? What's he got going on?
Man, I have not been able to train jujitsu for just over a month now.
I took him out.
Yeah, I know.
It was on the golf course, I think.
Yeah, come watch us on the golf course.
You guys rolling on the golf course. You guys are unbelievable. But it's fun.
I don't know.
Go ahead.
I blame Josh for that, but he has a different recollection of what happened.
He snuck me.
I partially tore my LCL, so I haven't been able to train for a while. I mean, I've been in the gym, kind of rehabbing it and getting stronger. But, I mean, I think I'm probably going to wait like another 2-3 weeks before I just get back on the mats and not even live roll, but just, go for the drilling, go for the classes, because I miss it, man.
Yeah.
Like, I've only been out for a month, but it feels like forever. I'm like, man, do they even remember who I am?
It kind of messes with your cognitive state a little bit, like, because for me, like, when I don't train for like a week, when I'm on if I go on vacation, I feel like my mood is slightly changed a little. I'm not as happy.
I think it's the oxygen.
No, you might be right with that. Yeah,
because your heart rate goes up and you're working hard and then you stop and you work hard, you work hard. So that's good for the heart, good for the brain, good for the oxygenate the whole system, and that's probably part of it.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
And then besides that, we've almost had him half a year now. My little mini schnauzer that we rescued from the shelter.
The terror.
You say no? He was a terror.
I'm joking.
He had no discipline. This kid. I gave him discipline, and now he, he's a great little dog. I mean, so long as you don't leave the trash open and on the floor, when you leave.
Does he clean it up?
He does. He he cleans it up and makes a new mess. But I mean, he's excellent. Goes outside. Use the doggy door to go to the bathroom, all that. So he's a good kid.
I got a question for you. How many weddings have you been to this year?
Oh my God!
I feel like every time they post something, it's at a wedding.
Feels like it. Let's see. Funny enough, we have one upcoming in like beginning of October. Let's see. We had one back in May that was in Loma Linda area, or Cherry Valley. I think this year was only it'll be 4. It'll be 4 this year. That's crazy.
That's still a lot, man.
And then I was in my best buddy's wedding last July. So
shout out to Brandon.
That was Joey.
Oh, I thought Brandon was your best buddy.
Different best friend.
Hey, I can have more than one best friend.
I'm trying to create Jerry. I'm trying to create something. I'm just joking.
Exactly. And I love all my buddies. I love you guys. Okay. Well,
all right. That
was an awesome episode. I think we can always share more information. If you guys have any specific questions, let us know. Send us a message. We can share some more information.
Very good. I'm going to sign off.
Yeah. Signing off. Yeah.
So remember, for higher expectations, and higher standards, choose the higher advantage, real estate, sales, and service. Take care. Be safe out there, and have a great day.
Have a great day.
Woo.
All right. Good job.
Good job.
That was fun.